I'll be honest. I have no idea of the impact that I make. You know, I had no idea. If people come up to me and say, parang, oh, Miss Eva, you've made this impact. Really? Right, so what would I give an advice to a younger queer kid? Hmm. Pride is not even in what you wear. It's not in the pronouns. And most definitely, it's not in the rainbow emojis that you put on your social media posts. But do you all know what safe space means? But is there anyone in this room who's not familiar of who I am? Buti naman. I'm giving you time to Google it just in case, okay? So yes, my name is Eva Le Queen and of Drag Race Philippines and RuPaul's Drag Race Global All Stars. I'm a drag queen, a host, a businessman, a businesswoman, a producer, a podcaster, an inspirational diva. Is there anyone here who's watching my content evangelism on TikTok and on YouTube? Soft plug lang eh, no? But did you all know that I have once worked with PWC before? Yeah, because prior to being a drag queen, I used to work as an HR consultant for expats in Singapore. And my clients usually are Procter& Gamble, Caterpillar, many other Fortune 500 companies, and PWC is our top choice for tax compliance. So yes, of course, I know of you guys. I know of PWC, one of the big four. And I, as an ex-corporate diva, understand the impact. Kasi I know what PWC is. I know the impact of why I am here and why we are celebrating all of this today. Okay? Now, I'm sorry, my corset is like really tight. And I just had lunch. Whew. Now, you probably all know the things that has been happening, right? In the United States, all these incessant efforts to invalidate and erase our queer and trans brothers and sisters, the blatant discriminatory policies, pulling out of DEI and diversity, equity, and inclusivity campaigns in many major players, different corporations all over the world. As much as everything is very vibrant, we also need to take the time to acknowledge that we live at a time that just when we thought we've come so far with our fight for equality, suddenly we are taken back, like 1,000 steps back. But amidst all this like chaos and uncertainty, PWC remains steadfast and unwavering in championing equality and solidarity for members of the LGBTQIA+. Let's give PWC a round of applause. Because this is huge, like me even standing here, for a company to hold such power and position in the world. This company chooses to stand by you, my brothers and sisters, and the things that matter to you. You know, every Pride Month, I'm very happy because I am booked and blessed. And I have done talks, I have worked with many companies and brands that engage drag queens during Pride Month. And not all of them, I would say, but I've gotten used to feeling like me being there is just like a token initiative, where Pride feels like a token initiative, like there's drag queens, there's rainbows, there's the letters PRIDE plastered everywhere. It feels like Santa Claus on a Christmas day, right? Pero, if you ask them, do you have gender sensitivity training? Do you have gender neutral bathrooms? Right? And I'm happy because when I talked to the staff that engaged me, it's one of the things that I asked. Like, yeah, I would love to be there, but what efforts do you really have for my brothers and sisters? And I'm so happy to hear that in PWC, same-sex couples are covered under the HMO, tama ba? Right? Your dependents can also claim for same-sex couples. You do have gender sensitivity orientation, am I right? Yes, as you should. And you have gender-neutral bathrooms, and I was told that, even our trans sisters, trans women are allowed to use the women's bathroom. Right. So brothers and sisters, asan ang mga bakla? Would you say that PWC? Asan? Wala. Where? I can't see you guys. So would you say that PWC is your safe space? Yes. Wow. So that's a resounding yes. But do you all know what safe space means? What it really means? No? Now, since I've been doing lots of talks, I took the liberty of defining it myself. So I came up with my own definition of a safe space. And I think it applies naman to all of you, to all of us, actually. Safe space is not an establishment. It's not an office, it's not a venue, it's not a physical space, it's not a physical environment. I would say that safe space is a mindset. It's a mindset of a group of people and their collective decision to give each and every one the same treatment and compassion that they would want for themselves. Does that make sense, right? Whatever I want for myself, I give it to all of you. So it's a mindset. So even if you are in Jollibee, you're in the streets, you're inside the church, you're in a public school, you're in a pedestrian lane, nakapila ka sa ATM, as long as that mindset exists, safe space exists. Okay? So here, for example, dito sa office, right? When you advocate for a lesbian colleague to have her partner's medical bills covered the way you would want your husband or wife to be covered too, that's a safe space, right? When you support your teammates' promotion based on their competence and contribution to the team, the way you wish to be acknowledged for your own hard work and dedication, that's a safe space. Wow. When you champion for your friend's most basic right to relieve themselves in restrooms with safety and dignity, the way a cis person, you don't even have to think about it, when you go on toilet breaks, that's a safe space. So safe space, it's not about what I have, you should have. It's more like what I deserve, you also deserve. And this encompasses all sexes, ha? Hindi lang sa mga bakla. It goes for everyone, right? Safe space isn't just exclusive to us. But today, I want to talk to you about the most important safe space of all. Kasi nga, di ba, safe space is a mindset. And that means this one is the most powerful and most life-changing of all. Do you know what it is? You know what that safe space is? It's inside of you. It's called your inner voice, your own inner voice. Corset. Now, let me ask you this question. And I'm sure a lot of you will be able to relate to this. How many times have you said yes to favors from family or colleagues that you didn't feel like doing, but you did it anyway? Diba? Madalas. Overtime ka muna. Diba? How many times have you held your tongue in meetings because you feel that whatever you're going to say, no one's going to listen to it or no one's going to take it seriously? Or how many times have you told yourself, this one very basic, you've told yourself you will start a healthier lifestyle, you will spend more time with your loved ones, you will read a book, get a new hobby, and then on your offs, on your weekends, you just doom scroll the entire weekend and done nothing. Now, excuse me, these things happen when you are not in sync with your own inner safe space or your inner peace. Now, inner peace, you might think, it's just a meditation. When you say inner peace, parang yoga, ganyan. No, inner peace doesn't mean silence. Inner peace doesn't mean quietness. Let me define what inner peace is for me. Inner peace means your intentions and the goodwill that is inside of you is in alignment with the choices that you make day in, day out. Inner peace means you prioritize your own needs so that your cup will be full and you will have enough when someone asks from you and you wouldn't feel that you've been taken advantage of. Inner peace means you have done the inner work. So inner work means you always give your best, you always choose to do the right thing. And then you're able to see your own life through a lens that appreciates and celebrates the best part of you. Inner peace means you have integrity and honesty to confront the things that you are not very proud of and make a decision to do better. Ito, very important. Inner peace means you establish boundaries from people and situations that drain your energy and your spirit. Because inner peace is the well. Think of it, that this is the well from which everything good in your life flows from. If you have inner peace, what flows out of it is your confidence, your aspirations, your dreams, your capacity to love, your resilience, ultimately your destiny. Your inner peace sets the pace by which you lead a happy and blessed life. So if that is the case, it is not only imperative that you keep that inner safe space intact, but it's also very dangerous kapag napabayaan, right? It's very detrimental should that inner safe space be ever compromised. And do you know how that happens? That happens when you make choices that betray you. When you lie and say words that you don't mean. When you make promises to yourself and then you break it. When you put the needs of other people above your own to the point of compromise. When you blame yourselves for things that do not go your way, all that negative self-talk. When you apologize for things that you never had control of. Sorry, ganito lang ako eh. When you play small in front of others. When you stay quiet when you are supposed to speak. When you let validation of others become the measure of your own success. When you allow disrespect to your name. So this Pride Month, my message and my challenge to not just the members of the LGBTQIA+, but to everyone that hears this message, all of you, is that to grow that inner garden that you have inside you, to be planted with nothing but goodness and greatness. Now, I just wanted to share because I think that was last week. Yes, last week, I had a performance at Poblacion. Okay, so there was a pride moment there, and I tried to dance. I did some dancing in the heat of Makati, outdoor, all of that. And then when I was still trying to pick myself up, the host asked me, Jervy asked me, what's your message for Pride? So I didn't know, baka hilo-hilo pa ako. My head was still spinning. I just blurted, always remember you are your own pride. And then I saw some faces in the crowd. They were like, huh? Because there's no context there. Like, you are your own pride. I'm like, huh? And it's weird. And I wish I had the time to explain it, pero pinaalis na kami. But what I really wanted to say at that moment was, pride is not in the rainbow balloons, the banners. It's not in the festivities. It's not in the face of this beautiful drag queen in front of you. Pride is not even in what you wear. It's not in the pronouns. And most definitely, it's not in the rainbow emojis that you put on your social media posts. No? This is very important. Pride is in that absolute, unwavering, and steadfast belief that you are worth everything that you put your heart into. Let me repeat that. Pride is in that absolute belief that you are worth everything that you put your heart into. So whether you are a hardworking trans employee trying to gun that promotion, you have that pride. Whether you are a gay couple who dreams of living abroad, getting married, adopting a kid, starting your own family, you deserve it. Whether you are that boss diva who works hard para makapag-travel, hashtag jet setter, wanderlust, you deserve it. Diba? Whether you are that breadwinner kuya who sends his siblings to school and supports his family and loves them with all his heart, you deserve it. Because whatever it is that you put your heart into, please know that you deserve all of it without limits and without reservations. You are amazing as you are. And you are enough, more than enough to live your life to the fullest as long as you put in the work and you protect that inner peace. Protect it at all cost. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, and non-conforming, non-binary brothers and sisters, this is what pride is all about. And with that, happy Pride, everyone!
And thank you, Miss Eva, for reminding us also that safe spaces again. Sabay-sabay tayo. What I deserve is what you deserve. Sabay-sabay tayo. What I deserve is what you deserve.
Yeah.
And pride is, mas mahaba to. Mas Eva. Absolute pride is the absolute belief that
You are worth everything that you put your heart into.
sabay-sabay. Pride is
The absolute belief that you are worth everything that you put your heart into.
Thank you, Miss Eva.
Thank you.
So with that, let's open the floor for a quick Q&A session with our queen. So if you have any questions, whether it's about her journey, her advocacy, or most dramatic moments, please do ask now.
Don't ask me things you've read on Reddit. I know nothing about Globalization Royale or when the next season of Drag Race. Or I don't know about our director. Well, I don't know these things.
Questions?
Oh, there.
Hi, Miss Eva. I'm June from Tax.
Hi, Jew.
So my question
Jew. Like due date, like due date from tax. All right.
on to everyone.
All right.
So my question is,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say are the most effective ways for us allies
Mm-hmm.
to support the LGBTQ plus members or colleagues in creating a more safer and more inclusive workspace?
Ooh. Thank you for that wonderful question. What should allies do? Right. I think I would say that, we appreciate the support of the allies. Just to give context, you know that 90% of drag fans are females.
Yeah.
Yes. Because they say that I think they gravitate toward drag queens because we give an image of an unapologetic female energy that they wish they also had. So I've spent a lot of time with allies, straight boys, girls, and to me, what really struck to me, what I feel is the most sincere way of being an ally is that I am not given any special treatment. I am not treated anything than what I offer to the table. We love it. For me, allyship isn't about being at the top of the float, putting on emojis or like we appreciate that, we love that, okay. But I think on a more daily basis, on a more mundane sense of things, I think True allyship is when you are able to look at me in the eye and give give me praises, tell me, or just carry on with our relationship together without having to give a care or a single F about who I want to sleep with at the end of the night. You accept me for who I am. You accept the beautiful, the bad, everything. I want to carry on. Honestly, I don't know if I'm the only person. If there is a choice for members of the LGBTQIA plus to not have pride so that we don't have to shout out to the world that we exist just so we can live in this society, I would give up pride any given time. Because I know that I have so much to offer. I am more than my soji. And if allies start seeing me like that, the amazing human being that I am, I think that's true allyship. When you give us permission to be who we truly are and give more to the world, that is true allyship. Thank you.
Any other question? James?
Hello, Queen.
Hi, Garl.
I'm
Hi, darling.
James from Maxwell.
Okay, James.
Question is,
Mhm.
what advice can you give to a younger queer kid who's just starting to navigate their life and identity?
Mhm. Are you that young kid? No.
How about you?
Oh, ask you for a friend. Okay, okay, okay. You're so cute.
7 years old.
You don't. You look nothing like nothing past 23. Honestly.
Oh my God, Pokemon.
Right. Thank you. Oh my God. Right. So, what would I give an advice to a younger queer kid? Hmm. Um. Okay. Let's just go by what will I tell my younger self, right? When I was a kid, I think if there's one lesson that I'll share that younger queer kid is that make mistakes now, make mistakes early. Because when you were a kid, you are given so much grace by the world, so much energy, of course, and so much time to explore. Being a kid is that time that you get to explore things and you get to learn the lessons that only you get to learn. And you do that while you were a kid. Because when you grow up, you probably already have bills. So making mistakes is expensive, right? Also, you know, a lot of the people that I know that okay, some of the people that I feel are having a difficulty embracing their life now as an adult were people who, when I talk to them and get having know of them, are people who tried to put on that perfect image as young, while they were still kids. They are the little Miss Perfects. They are the kids that didn't give themselves chance to explore what they want. They are the kids that listened too much to had overbearing parents, complied with what the society wanted them to be. A lot of them are closeted. And then they only start on the experimentation later on in life, and it costs them so much more. So when you were a kid, enjoy it. Make mistakes now. You know, when you try to learn, when you were a kid and you try to learn to walk and you fumbled the first time, you don't just say like, I give up. Walking is not for me. You carry on. You take on your steps, but it needs to start early. And then you crawl, you walk, and you run into the life of your dreams. So make mistakes now, F it up if you have to, and you have the rest of your life to correct them.
Maybe the perfect is top five. May question tayo from
Yes.
Hi, Ma.
Hello.
Much hope on your fans since the big stage.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
he's probably going to see the
Thank you.
I just have a question, no?
Mm-hmm.
Paano feeling mo na you're making an impact? Not lang, di lang sa mga local mates natin, no? Pero sa mga LGBT community, lalo sa akin, na, so by simply being yourself and consistently showing up.
Mm. Impact. Usually 10% yan eh sa diba? Impact. 10% yun eh. Marinig ka ng 10%? Impact. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, that's a good question. Because I'll be honest, I have no idea of the impact that I make. You know, I had no idea. If people come up to me and say, parang, oh, Miss Eva, you've made this impact. Really? That's my assistants would, oh, ma, did you know that you've done this? And then you had this impact. I'm like, really? Because I think in my life or in our lives in general, we always take a stride moving forward, right? So come to think of it, you arrive and you leave at the same time. Impact is something that happens in the wake of your steps. Impact doesn't happen in front of you, right? You just know that impact. Now, when you walk pala, it creates ripples of goodwill or whatever the impact is, good or bad. It happens as you walk along. So I have no idea because the impact was never the goal. Impact is never something that is in front of me. It's not the same as my purpose, my intention. Impact is an aftermath of making the right choices in life. So I think going back to your question, what I feel about it is that I wish to be able to continue to have this imposter syndrome to keep me grounded because I always focus on the next step ahead of me rather than obsessing about, oh, what is the impact that I've already made? Beautiful. I love that. We don't want that, right? I want to keep myself grounded in reality, in logic, and in hopes that whatever I make is really reaches where it's supposed to go. Thank you.
Kung hindi ko rin ng 10% dyan.
10%. Hindi pa ako natalo eh. Yes.
Any other
Hi.
how do you handle criticism from how do you handle urging from that?
Hi, Ergie.
How do you handle criticism from fellow drag performers or fans who expect you to represent a certain kind of drag?
Mhm.
And what does this teach you about your own authenticity and resilience?
Hmm. Meron?
May branding ka ba?
They try. No kidding. Um, well, you honestly, when you become a public figure, or probably even if you're not a public figure, once you put yourself out there through your social media, you post a picture, post a tweet, it comes along with, like a waiver, a blanket approval of people having F's to say about you. They will have an opinion about you. They will have an opinion about your opinion. That's the world that we live in, right? Now, um, I I had a talk with one of the owners of El Union Coffee. Are you guys familiar with El Union in La Union? All right, that couple, Amy and Kid. So Amy once told me that she keeps a notebook in her bedroom. And then in that notebook is a list of names of the people that she loves, cares about, and cares about what they think. So there's the name of her mother-in-law, the name of the kids, the name of her husband, the name of another friend who owns another business, a successful person, probably Oprah's name. If my list is there, Oprah's name will be there, you know. And then she said that you can say whatever you want to me, but if your name is not on this list, I do not have to answer to you. You know, and that struck me, and I still do not have the list. But now I base what I hear and what I read and what I see on, is this the kind of person that is supposed to sit at my table? Is this a person who, because there will be people who would say mean things to you and still come from a place of love. You know, there even people who loves you have ugly thoughts about you. But the beautiful thing about life is that two things can be true at the same time. They can say mean things to you and still love you with all their heart. Both of them are true. Not they're not consequential. So if your name is not on that list, that means whatever you say is probably coming from boredom or malice, then I shouldn't be listening to it. And you see, I just read this morning. Good thing that you asked that because this morning I read something um that says no one who is doing better than me will have the energy to mock me. Because anyone who's doing better than me understands the hustle, the hardship, the pain to be able to put yourself out there and do what you do. The people who do better than me respect the hustle and respect my spirit and what I have to offer. And people who do not live in that mindset are most likely not doing any better than me. You can have more money, but I bet on you, you do not have a brighter spirit than I do. Right? So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, Steve, marami tayong mga public figure in this level. You are the public figure na nila.
Ah,
So, another question. Meron pa? Yes?
yung PWC, lagyan nyo ng Le Queen sa dulo. PWCL na kayo. Sobrang tuwa nyo sa akin. PricewaterhouseCoopers Le Queen.
Hi, Diva. You're my drag race superstar.
Don't let it. Come on. Don't say that. What's that again? Tweet it. Don't say it. Just tweet it.
Drag race superstar is Eva Le Queen. I'm Nicole from Data Assurance. And
Mm.
coming off of the busy season, I'm just curious, what does setting a boundary look like to you? Kasi ako as a young professional sometimes, it's hard to figure out when I should set a boundary, but also taking into account the future that I have, my goals, my aspirations, and how sometimes I feel like setting a boundary and saying no to opportunities would hinder that. I know it's not the case because I'm young, there are a lot of opportunities, but how do I start to talk myself down to accepting opportunities that I may not have the energy to and start to protect my boundaries? Kasi we talked a lot about it.
Right.
Which I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful question. Okay. All right. I think when I speak about boundaries, is that boundaries should exist, but it should not be absolute. Meaning to say, kung puro boundaries na lang, you can move into a communist country probably. It's all boundaries. You would build a great wall around you. That's not the goal. The goal, I would say, as I used to be a young professional too. So I when I was working, when I was working a 9 to 5, and then at 9 to 5, and then I have evening classes at Singapore Polytechnic from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. on weekdays, and then on weekends I have drag. So yes, I got burned out. But what I realized in that is that boundaries isn't about being so good at saying no, you don't say yes to anything at all. I think the goal is to have balance. And balance is not a one rule that applies all. Balance is actually dynamic. So there will be days that you will be required to put in the extra work. But it also comes with a 3 day off that you just do nothing. I think balance is something that the key to balance is self awareness. There was this book where the sidewalk ends. Do people know that book, Where the Sidewalk Ends? And that that to me that metaphor really sums up the balance that I was trying to say. At sidewalk, right? There is a part there where there's pavement, and then there is a part where it's grass. You know, so I think when we talk about life, there are some days that you walk in the pavement so that you can walk straight. But there are also times that you have to bask in the uncertainty of the grass and bring more life to you so that you would have more fuel to carry on with your life. You know, balance and boundaries isn't about just choosing one side. Boundaries is about being able to understand When is the time for you to bow your head down and put in the work? And when is the time that you go back to who you are, go back to what fills your soul, find a hobby, go soul searching, go travel. And both of them will come hand in hand. So in other words, wala akong advice. The advice is, I provided context or like school of thought of how to navigate that. But ultimately, you are the one who gets to set it. Because your boundaries might not be as the same as same boundaries as I have. This body is old, this body is eternally tired, but my spirit is eternally happy. You know? There are some parts of me that I've given up for the parts that I would never give up. You know, it's finding the right balance in your life, and I hope you do a good job at it. Thank you.
It is it's really about dynamic balance,
Yes.
right? I think we can take one or two more questions.
Yes.
Sino na mas malapit?
Uy, naka-heels pala siya. I love that.
Because this is a safe space.
Safe space. I love it.
The mindset.
Correct. Pride is not in the clothes. Yes, hi, baby.
Hello po, Queen. I have two questions.
Oh, sure.
And, I'm not sure if this would require
So last na yun, nakinuha niya yung dalawang question.
That's okay.
Okay, so my first question, I know that during, phases of, when we're fixing adversaries, we tend to find familiarity, ganyan. That said, ilang gating po ng rice yung sinain niyo?
I love. Thank you for that very existential and thought-provoking question. Ilang gatang ng rice yung sinaing ko? Doing girl math, no? I think mga less than 276 calories, kilocal. Kasi less than honestly, I don't even know if that's real rice. The production just came up with something, oh, it looks like a grain or something. All right, just put it there. Is that even edible? I have no idea. We are in a different part of the world. But yes, that rice, I may not know how much rice that has. I just know the impact that it made. It has put the words Putangina in the vocabulary of so many other people in the world. And yeah, it brought back to the humor and the beauty of Filipino drags. I'm always going to be very proud of that uncooked rice and that unplugged rice cooker. Thank you.
And yun na yung last.
Really? Ang tahimik, parang nasa library.
Okay, for the last question. Hello po, my name is Devs from Business Service.
Oh, Debs, yes, I remember. What? Debs! Nag-leave ka sa group chat. Hi, Debs, you're right.
Hi, so my question is, it's not often that we see non-queer performing for drag. What's your advice and take to non-queer people who wants to try and do drag and perform in front of people?
Wow. Can you repeat that question? Just so I mean, I want to confirm if my understanding is correct.
Sige. Because not really that we often see straight people or non-queer
yes.
that perform that like
Right.
dress up and everything. So I want just to add, I want to ask, what's your take and advice to people who wants to, straight people or non-queer people who wants to do drag and perform in front of the crowd?
Right. Okay. Thank you, Debs. I think a lot of people have a misconception about drag first and foremost. They think that drag is a form of gender expression. It's actually not. Because when you're a drag queen, first you come up with an entirely new persona that has its own hair, its own personality. It's very much an artistic expression more than a gender expression. Now, just like music, just like painting, of course, it's heavily influenced by your personality, by the things that happen inside your head. It's a piece of your soul that has materialized to a different persona, and then now you share it to the world for public consumption, or entertainment, or whatever you want. But it's an art, first and foremost, it is an artistic expression. No one gets to tell you how to hold the pencil and draw a painting like this. No one gets to tell you how intense reds and blues and pinks and yellows and purples should be in the obra maestra that you're making, right? So in that sense, I think although a lot of queer people, probably 98% of drag kings and queens are from the LGBTQIA plus community, more than that, there's still room for everyone to try it. You know, I can be a drag queen and still want to play basketball. You know, we already live in the world that has an understanding, has the sophistication of the mind to put biases aside and live life to the fullest and do just whatever you want without hurting other people. So my advice to all our heteronormative brothers and sisters who wants to enjoy drag, do it with respect. You can do anything that you want. Because the most uninspiring, most disgusting form of drag that I know is one that is created with mockery and disrespect. We love drag. Drag is a safe space. Drag is a lot of kids, artists, viewers, audience turn to drag because of the joy, the magic that it creates, and the inspiration that it gives. So once you put a malicious intent behind why you do it, it defeats the purpose. And to me, I look at drag very sacredly. It's not about the polishedness, not about the caliber, not about the wigs, the outlooks, the silhouettes, of course. Visuals. Drag is so it's a combination of visual and performance art. However you wish to do it, as long as it's done from the bottom of your heart and with so much love and intent, then I would eat it up. That's it. Thank you.